Hey guys, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And before I get going with today's video, I just want to throw an idea out there for you guys and see what you think. I actually have a Facebook page that I created along with the channel. It goes with this channel. And with a Facebook page comes the option to form a group. So I do have a group. I just really kind of haven't been active on it. I think there's only 4 people that are members, and I am one of them, so it's me and 3 friends. Anyway, if you guys would be interested in me putting time into having a Facebook group for the channel where we could go and hang out and talk about movies and kind of get more in depth than you can just leaving comments and going back and forth with the comments, I'm going to put a poll up here. Just let me know, yes or no, if you guys want me to put some time in and get the group really going. Then, it's something we can do. I've heard other channels do it, and people seem to have a lot of fun getting to know each other and swapping ideas and being able to hang out with more like-minded people online. And it's actually a closed group, so the only people that could get in would be people that, that we approve, and the only rule is just be nice. So it's movie talk. How can we not be nice about movie talk? Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to the Facebook page. It's called Movie Chatter. All you have to do is like the page and then put in a request to join the group, and then we'll get things rolling if it's something that you guys want to do. Okay, that out of the way, today's video is a Blu-ray haul, and I actually have a bunch of Steelbooks. I have some 4K titles and then some other random things mixed in. And I don't want this to get too long, so I'm just going to get right into it. And it's just going to be, again, one of these quick overviews, a few bullet points about each one, and right on to the next one. Alright, so I'll get started with the Steelbooks. And the first one is, of course, the 3000th edition of Deadpool. Like, we don't have enough Deadpool, but of course, look, I go out and buy it. Anyway, the reason I got it is because it's the 4K version, and I did not have Deadpool in 4K. Heaven forbid, right? Anyway, because I upgraded my TV and my player and whatnot, I figured, you know what, I really do enjoy this movie, and so I wanted to have it in 4K. And I really do like this new artwork. I think it's beautiful. And I was so happy that they finally changed it from the one that we had on every other edition before this one. So yeah, Deadpool in 4K. If you don't have it, pick it up. And this one I was very excited to get. Saving Private Ryan. This is the 4K Steelbook, and it's from Best Buy. And I was really happy to get this because I actually missed out on it the first time around when it was the Blu-ray only. So I was really excited that they re-released it with the 4K edition. And I was happy that they kept the artwork the same because I really do like this artwork. And I'm sure maybe some of you who had the Blu-ray version maybe would have liked to have seen new artwork. But I don't know, from a collector standpoint, I was really happy to have the original. So Saving Private Ryan on 4K, which looks amazing, by the way. Next one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. War for the Planet of the Apes. Yes, War for the Planet of the Apes. Finally on Steelbook. We had the other 2, Rise and Dawn, on Steelbook, but no War, and my OCD and completionist were just like losing it because we needed this on Steelbook. Yes, they don't match, but this looks beautiful. I think it's a really nice looking Steelbook. And it is Blu-ray only, I believe. Yes, it has a Blu-ray and a DVD, so it's not a 4K, but hey, it's on Steelbook, right? So pick it up if you don't have it. And come on, how can we go wrong with this? The 30th anniversary of Die Hard. Awesome movie, awesome action. And again, this is just this is Blu-ray and DVD. And these next 2 are from Scream Factory. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, which came with a beautiful matching poster. And I absolutely love the artwork on this one. And it's a great movie too. Fun John Carpenter movie. Next one is also John Carpenter, also from Scream Factory. Assault on Precinct 13. Love the artwork on this one too. And this one is from Shout Factory, the parent company of Scream Factory. And it says it's a limited edition, only 10,000 manufactured. Woo! Don't want to miss out on it. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It reminds me of college. Now you know how old I am. Anyway, I like the artwork, and it's just a fun movie. It's like a fun popcorn movie. So yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And I had to pick up this one because, come on, it's Disney. Lady and the Tramp. Gotta collect your Disney. Stay up on your Disney stuff. I think, what do they have out now? I think Peter Pan is coming out on Steelbook, so I'll be looking for that too. But yeah, haven't even opened it, but I'm glad I have it. And then this one, I don't have cable. Here's a big fun fact. I am a cord cutter. Haven't had cable for years, but I do enjoy certain TV shows, and obviously Rick and Morty is one of them. And Pickle Rick back there to prove it. But Rick and Morty Season 3, I have Season 1 and 2, not on Steelbook, but I was really happy to see this come out on Steelbook, and of course, I picked it up right away. Love this show. Alright, so now we're going to get into 4K titles, and these are, some of them are relatively new, but some of them are ones that I've just kind of backfilled. This one just recently came out, Russell Crowe, Gladiator on 4K, and I did pop it in to kind of preview it, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. So yeah, if you don't have it on 4K, definitely check it out. Another classic, Mel Gibson, Braveheart. And another one, it looks fantastic on 4K. And sometimes, you know, people ask about the 4K, and sometimes I feel like if it's a really good Blu-ray, I have a hard time making the distinction if the 4K is that much better. But I find with these older films, a lot of them, it's a big, you know, much bigger improvement. And, you know, these last two, they were pretty good improvement. So, yeah, if you have an older film that you're into and you see it come out on 4K, you know, give it a look. But Braveheart, yeah, definitely worth it. And this one is a new release in the last 2 weeks. I just watched it, Hostels with Christian Bale. This is actually a really, really good movie, and it looks really, really good on 4K because there's a lot of outdoor scenery, and they're going across, they're on horseback going from supposedly New Mexico to Montana in the late 1800s. I think it was like 1892, but it really, really looked good. The scenery the landscapes and everything looked really good in 4K, and it's a good movie, which I think I'm probably going to be talking about on Wednesday for the weekend watch, so keep an eye out for a better review on Hostels. It's a good one. And these two I just had to pick up. There was an Amazon sale. Cloverfield, which is always a good one, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. They both look great on 4K. I popped them in to take a look, but yeah, can't go wrong with those. And of course, I think you guys saw this in my Wednesday video, Black Panther. Had to get that on 4K, and I think it looks pretty good. And even though it has a lot of CGI, and sometimes CGI can look a little wonky on the 4K, but I thought it was solid. It looked good. So yeah, Black Panther. And this one was a good one. I saw this one originally in the theater. American Made. It's based on the true story of Barry Seal, who ended up working for the CIA. He was a TWA pilot who ended up involved with the CIA and he was supposed to start taking pictures, and he was running guns and drugs and all kinds of stuff. I mean, everything just became a big mess, and it ended up being part of the Iran-Contra situation. So if you haven't seen Tom Cruise in American Made, it's a really, really good movie. And the 4K looks incredible, again, because there's a lot of outdoor scenery and a lot of outdoor shots. It looks really, really good, and it's a fun movie. I don't know how fun it was for him, but it was a good movie to watch, and I enjoyed it both times. So yeah, definitely check out American Made. And the next one I didn't actually get for myself. I got it for my movie watching partner, and this is the 40th anniversary of Grease. And I'm not the biggest Grease fan, but I did grow up with it. I mean, it was very popular when I was in high school, and the Blu-ray version of it wasn't all that great. It was, you know, but the 4K version, they did such a great job with the 4K. It looks amazing. And when my friend said that she wanted to see it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick up the 4K version and give it a look. And if you are a fan of Grease and you're really into it, this is definitely the version you're going to want to have if you have 4K capability, because it knocks the Blu-ray out of the water. It blows it away. It's a home run. So yeah, definitely Grease in 4K. Okay, so I have a few more piles. I'm just going to grab them, and I will be right back. Told you guys I'd be right back. Okay, I have like 2.5 piles to get through. But before I jump into these last few piles, I just wanted to touch on the Steelbooks. The reason I know I didn't go into them and I didn't show you guys all the artwork and the covers and the fronts and the backs and whatnot and the inside, and that's because I've had viewer requests to see my entire Steelbook collection, which is 3 bookcases full. So I am actually in the process of starting that video series, and in that video series we will go into more in-depth, you know, looking at more in-depth into the artwork. So I don't want you guys to feel like I just kind of blew off the artwork and blew off the Steelbooks. It's just that I'm making a whole segment on that. So you can look forward to that. Hopefully I'll have the first one up maybe the end of next week. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm just going to blow through these titles and we're going to wrap this up. First one, Autofocus, starring Greg Kinnear and Willem Dafoe. This is based on the true story of Bob Crane, who was actually the lead of the famous sitcom from the 1970s, Hogan's Heroes. And Bob Crane seemed, for all intents and purposes, seemed like the all-American guy. He married his high school sweetheart. They had kids. He was a church-going guy. Seemed like a good guy. Everybody liked him. Unfortunately for him, he also had a sexual addiction. And he got involved with some bad people, and it was ultimately his demise. And Bob Crane's story is very sad and compelling. And unfortunately, this movie, to me, felt like a missed opportunity, because it really felt like a first draft. They missed a lot. They didn't go into a lot of details. It was very superficial. I wanted to know the who, why, when, timeline type of thing, so that we could get more of an in-depth look at what happened to this guy to make his whole life fall apart and ultimately end. But yeah, I can't really recommend autofocus. I mean, it's actually selling for $49.95 on Amazon right now. Definitely don't buy that. But it's from 2002. This is just the Blu-ray release, but it was done in 2002, so you may be able to stream it online if you really want to take a look at it, but it doesn't really offer much insight into any more than you could get reading it on Wikipedia or whatever if you just look up Bob Crane. But yeah, autofocus, unfortunately, not worth it. This next one, My Friend Dahmer. This explores the life of Jeffrey Dahmer when he was in high school. It was actually his senior year in high school, and it's based off a best-selling book, My Friend Dahmer, by his friend, I'm reading it, Burke Backdorf, wrote a book about his friendship with Jeffrey Dahmer in high school, and it really, it shows that even then, people knew that he was just off. His behavior was very bizarre and unconventional, and he was very much a loner, and he started getting involved in alcohol, and just his behavior just really spiraled in the last year of high school. He just went from bad to worse. And unfortunately, again, this film kind of felt like it was an after-school special. Not a whole lot happens. It's a little bit of insight, but you're not going to get much out of it. The interesting fact, the redeeming quality in this, is that it was actually filmed in his childhood home. So when I found that out, I was like, well, okay, so at least that was worth my time. But yeah, I would say maybe instead of this, maybe check out the book, My Friend Dahmer, because even if you're not a reader, this is the cool part. It is presented like a comic book. His friend Durf is an amazing, amazing artist, and he actually draws comics for a living, and this book is amazing. So yeah, definitely check out the book. I'll put a link in the description if you want to pick it up on Amazon. It's a really good read. And then, finally, on Blu-ray, Van Wilder, or as I like to call it, Deadpool in College. It's a good one. And there's so many movies I'm realizing that we just think they have a Blu-ray release and they don't. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see on Blu-ray that is not. I'll tell you mine. Mommy Dearest is on the top of my list. I'd love to see a Blu-ray release. But if you haven't seen Van Wilder, or you haven't seen it in a while, it's on Blu-ray. Check it out. Okay, The Post. This one stars Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and it was actually one of the nominations for Best Picture for 2017, the Academy Awards. And I have to say, it was a little slow. This is the true story. It's based on the true story of the Pentagon Papers, which, if you don't know, it was based on an investigation down in Vietnam. The government was sending people down to Vietnam to see how we were doing. Was it worth staying in the fight? What was the progress? And the outlook for the Americans in Vietnam, and Vietnam, the war itself, was not good. But that's not what the American people were being told. And the Pentagon Papers proved that things were not good down there. And yet we kept sending our boys and our soldiers down there to be slaughtered. So it was a very unpopular war. Not that there's really a popular war, but it was a very unpopular war. And we just kept sending people, and the government was lying to the American people. So the guy who did the investigations actually leaked the Pentagon Papers to various news networks, and some of them, like the New York Times, started to publish them. Court said, nope, can't do it, it's classified information. But the Post actually had the same source. They had the same papers. No one told them they couldn't do it. So they had a choice to make. Do we do the right thing and publish these papers, or do we do the safe thing and avoid any kind of court case or possible even imprisonment? And I really wanted this movie to be I wanted it to be great because it's a very relevant story, even today, even in the political climate today. And it's important that the people are getting the correct information from the government. So yeah, the story still feels relevant, but unfortunately with this one, it just like it kind of dragged. The first two acts dragged, and then when it got good in the third act, then it felt rushed. It was like I was being dragged through a party and then I was being pushed out the back door. So if you're a fan of the, if you lived through the Nixon years or the Vietnam situation and you want to give this a look, I say definitely give it a rent, because I don't think there's not rewatchability in it. It's kind of slow, like I said. So yeah, definitely give it a rent if it's your thing, if you're into history and true stories. It's a good story to know, but just presented in not a great way. So yeah, I'd say, rent The Post. And this one, The Lords of Dogtown. If you're into skateboarding, it's definitely your movie. This is a great movie. I haven't seen it in quite some time, so I'm really looking forward to revisiting it. It stars Emile Hirsch and Heath Ledger, and it's based on a true story. So yeah, definitely check it out. And this one surprised me. Dope. This movie is really smart and it's really fun. These three friends, it's two guys and a girl. They're kind of geeky, kind of nerdy. The main guy is a straight A student, and his ultimate goal is to get into Harvard. They come from a really rough neighborhood, and unfortunately he gets involved with some drug dealers, and he ends up with a bag of their drugs and has to figure out how to get them back to whoever they rightfully belong to. But this was a really fun ride, and it's really smart. If you're into technology and you're tech savvy, you're going to really appreciate this film. So yeah, definitely check out Dope. It's a lot of fun. And this one, The Vanishing of Sydney Hall from Studio A24, and we all know I love them. I'm going to link up here my last video because I actually spoke about this in depth. I really like this movie. Sydney Hall is a writer, and he is not happy with the way his books are being handled by the public. He's not happy with the fame that his books bring. He's not happy with the cult following that his books have caused, and ultimately he just walks away from his life. So this tells us why, and it's a good movie, and it's worth your time. So yeah, definitely check it out. Alright, so we're in the home stretch here. From Arrow Video, I'm sure you've seen this on everyone else's videos. The Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Fun, fun, fun. I know, it's probably a cheesy movie. You're probably saying, oh, it's a cheesy movie. But it's so much fun. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. What are you doing? You haven't seen it? Get it. Pick it up. And this is the version you want. The Arrow one. I also picked up Dario Argento's Deep Red from Arrow. Comes with the Blu-ray. Also comes with a nice book. So I love it comes with a poster too, I think. But I love Arrow. They just do such a nice job with their box sets and all their releases. Everything is really solid. I also picked up Dario Argento's Cat o' Nine Tails. Again, it's a box set with a book and the Blu-ray. I'm not going to take it all apart because we'll be here for an hour. But anyway, yeah, Cat o' Nine Tails is a good one. And this one, there's actually a remake in the process, Dario Argento's Suspiria. Now this one was put out by Synapse Films, and this one has a 4K restoration, and I actually watched this about a week ago, and I can tell you that the 4K restoration is flawless. And the soundtrack is chilling. To me, it reminds me of like a creepy music box type thing. But if you're into this movie, and I know there's a huge following because it's considered Dario Argento's masterpiece, this is definitely the version you're going to want to have. And you don't need a 4K player to play it because it's a restoration, so it will play on your regular Blu-ray player. But yeah, Suspiria by Synapse Films. Definitely check it out. And this one I picked up from Scream Factory, Ghost Story. I don't know much about it. I haven't seen it, but I heard it's really good. So I'm going to check it out. And I'll let you know. I also got Insidious, The Last Key, because I'm a completionist and I have the other one, so I have to see what goes on. So yes, I got this one. And this is because I am a product of the 1980s and HBO. Tales from the Crypt, The Demon Knight. I remember being in my room late at night watching HBO, Tales from the Crypt, and I'll show you. I actually have a Crypt Keeper. Yes, and I know he's in Hawaiian garb, but if you press on his stomach, you get the infamous laugh. So yes, I am a big fan of Tales of the Crypt. So when I saw them come out on Scream Factory, I had to get them. I also got Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, both from Scream Factory. Now you know I'm a horror nerd because I have like nerdy horror films, but I enjoy them. They're guilty pleasures. And this, I couldn't pass up on these two. The Vincent Price collections. I got version 2 and version 3. Unfortunately, I missed out on version 1, and I read on the Scream Factory site they do not have the rights to sell that anymore. So I'm kind of bummed out that I missed out on the first collection of Vincent Price movies because I'm a big Vincent Price fan. So yeah, bummed out about that. Anyway, that is my Steelbook 4K Blu-ray book, whatever you want to call it, update, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video because I love doing things like this, just you know, piles of stuff. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload again. And again, remember, I did that poll, so let me know if you guys want me to start that group, and if you do, I'm on it. So until next time, I just want to say thank you once again, and that's a wrap.